Words are powerful. They can inspire, comfort, and create, but words can also deceive, mislead, and manipulate. Too often people trust what they hear without observing the reality beneath the surface. They believe promises, explanations, and excuses without noticing the subtle behaviors that reveal true intentions. Life has a way of teaching those who trust words blindly that speech alone is not proof. There is a hidden language that operates beneath the words, the language of actions, expressions, consistency, timing, and subtle patterns. If you want to protect yourself, understand others, and navigate life wisely, you must learn to read this hidden language. Words are cheap, actions are the currency of truth. The first hidden behavior to observe is consistency between words and actions. Many people say things that sound appealing, flattering, or persuasive. They promise loyalty, support, or commitment. But if you watch their actions over time, a different story emerges. Words are fleeting. They vanish after the moment, but actions leave traces. A person may tell you they value your friendship, but if they never make time for you or respect your boundaries, the gap between words and behavior reveals the truth. Silence, observation, and reflection are crucial here. Do not rush to trust someone because their speech comforts your desires. True understanding comes from watching whether their words align with reality. The second hidden behavior is timing and situational consistency. People often act differently, depending on the context, the audience, or their personal benefit. One may speak beautifully in public, praising your qualities, while privately behaving with disregard or manipulation. Words are adaptable, but behaviors often reveal the underlying motives. Pay attention to how someone speaks when there is no advantage to gain, when there is no audience to impress, or when the situation challenges them. This is where their true character shows itself. When words and private behaviors diverge, it is a signal that trust must be measured carefully. Karma and time have a way of revealing those who live by words alone, while integrity consistently shows through action. The third behavior is nonverbal cues and micro-expressions. Humans communicate far more through body language than speech. Tiny gestures, fleeting expressions, and subtle movements often betray what words attempt to hide. A person may nod, smile, or affirm, but if their eyes avoid contact, their tone is insincere, or their posture is defensive, the truth lurks beneath their speech. Learning to read these signs is a skill that protects you from being misled. Silence and attention allow you to catch these cues. When someone's words are sweet, but their behaviors tell a different story, it is a warning to proceed with caution. Observing, rather than reacting, allows you to separate genuine intentions from manipulation. The fourth hidden behavior is repetition under stress or challenge. Many people can maintain honesty and politeness when everything is easy, but when faced with adversity, pressure, or conflict, their words may falter, contradict themselves, or show signs of avoidance. Words spoken under comfort are not as revealing as behaviors exhibited under stress. A person who consistently demonstrates integrity when challenges arise proves the authenticity of their character, whereas someone whose words change under pressure exposes the limits of their trustworthiness. Watching how a person reacts to unexpected situations, disappointments, or moral dilemmas is a clearer reflection of their truth than any eloquence or explanation they offer in peaceful times. The fifth hidden behavior is patterns over time. Trust cannot be based on a single encounter or a fleeting moment of sincerity. People may appear convincing initially, using charm, persuasive speech, or emotional appeal, but behaviors reveal patterns, and patterns cannot lie. Repeated small actions, even unnoticed ones, accumulate into a clear picture. Observe how someone handles responsibility, how they treat those who cannot offer them advantage, how they respond to commitments, and how they act when no one is watching. These patterns create the true narrative of their character. Words may promise loyalty or integrity, but only long-term observation reveals whether those promises have substance. Understanding these hidden behaviors requires patience, awareness, and discipline. Trusting blindly in words leads to disappointment, betrayal, and wasted energy. Silence and observation are not signs of fear or passivity, they are tools of discernment. When you watch carefully, you begin to see beyond the narrative someone constructs for you. You notice inconsistencies, misalignments, and subtle hints that reveal deeper truths. Life rewards those who observe before believing, who act based on evidence, and who do not let charming words mask insincerity. There is also a profound psychological aspect to this principle. Many individuals are skilled at manipulating words to evoke emotion, control perception, or gain trust. Words appeal to desire, fear, or ego. They are designed to trigger reactions without providing substance. Recognizing this, you must train yourself to respond not to the narrative alone, but to the reality that surrounds it. Actions, patterns, and subtle behaviors are harder to fabricate consistently over time, making them more reliable indicators of truth than speech. When you align your judgment with behaviors rather than words, you protect your energy, your trust, and your peace. Consider this: trusting words without observation is like believing the surface of water reveals its depth. A calm, reflective surface can hide currents, sharp rocks, or dangerous whirlpools beneath. Words can be polished, rehearsed, and intentional, but hidden behaviors expose the currents of true character. Silence, observation, and reflection allow you to read these currents accurately, helping you navigate relationships, partnerships, and life decisions with clarity. This is why mastering awareness of hidden behaviors is one of the most valuable skills in personal and social intelligence. In addition, these hidden behaviors serve as early warnings. By observing subtle actions, patterns, and reactions, you can detect dishonesty, manipulation, or lack of integrity before it escalates into harm. The wisdom of patience and discernment allows you to act from a position of knowledge rather than emotion. You respond strategically rather than react impulsively. This skill strengthens your personal boundaries, protects your energy, and ensures that your trust is given only where it is earned. Karma may handle consequences for others, but your responsibility lies in maintaining clarity, integrity, and vigilance. In conclusion, the message is simple yet profound. Do not trust words alone. Watch, observe, and interpret hidden behaviors. Look for consistency between words and actions. Evaluate timing and situational patterns. Pay attention to nonverbal cues. Observe reactions under stress, and study patterns over time. These behaviors reveal the essence of a person's character far more reliably than eloquence or promises. Words may seduce the mind, but behaviors reflect the truth. By mastering this awareness, you cultivate discernment, protect your peace, and align yourself with people whose integrity is visible through action, not merely heard in speech. True mastery of life comes not from believing words alone, but from observing, understanding, and responding wisely. Silence, patience, and careful observation give you the power to see beyond appearances, to avoid deception, and to act from clarity rather than illusion. This is the path of discernment, the wisdom of integrity, and the art of trusting reality over rhetoric. In a world where words can mislead, hidden behaviors are the compass guiding you toward truth. Many of us are conditioned to trust what people say. From childhood, we are taught that words carry weight, that promises reflect intention, and that speech is a reflection of the soul. But life has a way of showing us that this belief, when unexamined, can be dangerous. Words can be crafted carefully, rehearsed, and designed to appeal to desire or emotion. A person may speak eloquently, shower you with compliments, or make promises that seem irresistible. Yet the true measure of their character is not in the sweetness of their speech, it is in the subtle hidden behaviors that accompany it. These behaviors are the silent language of truth, speaking clearly to those who are willing to see. One of the first hidden behaviors to watch is how someone treats others when there is no personal gain. Words often promise fairness, respect, and support, but actions reveal whether these statements are authentic. A person may flatter you, say they value kindness, or promise loyalty, but observe how they act toward those who cannot offer them advantage. Do they speak kindly to service staff, subordinates, or strangers? Are they patient when mistakes are made? The consistency of behavior across all relationships, not just those that benefit them, is a critical indicator of authenticity. Flattery may win your attention, but invisible actions reveal the depth of their character. Next is reaction under unexpected circumstances. Words spoken in calm, controlled environments are easy to manipulate. Anyone can sound convincing when everything is going their way, but life is not always calm. Challenges, stress, and surprises test the foundation of integrity. Notice how someone behaves when their plans are disrupted, when accountability is required, or when they face failure. Do their actions reflect their earlier promises, or do they shift into self-preservation, blame, or manipulation? Hidden behaviors under pressure expose intentions far more accurately than speeches delivered in comfort. Words can be rehearsed, but true reactions are instinctive. They are the mirror reflecting the inner truth of a person's character. Another crucial behavior is body language alignment with words. Humans communicate primarily through gestures, posture, tone, and subtle expressions. Someone may say, "I respect you," but if their eyes avoid yours, their posture is closed, or their tone carries tension or insincerity, the words are likely hollow. Words can seduce the mind, but the body rarely lies. Pay attention to the subtle inconsistencies between what is said and what is displayed. Hidden signals often reveal motives, reservations, or dishonesty that words attempt to mask. Those who are aware of these cues cultivate the ability to detect truth in a sea of rhetoric. A fourth hidden behavior is consistency over repeated interactions. Words can charm in a single encounter, but repeated patterns of behavior demonstrate reality. Observe how someone acts day after day, in both private and public settings. Do they follow through on promises? Do their actions align with the values they profess? Trust is earned through patterns, not slogans. Hidden behaviors, repeated over time, provide undeniable evidence of integrity or deceit. By focusing on what a person consistently does, rather than what they temporarily say, you protect yourself from illusions created by smooth or persuasive speech. The fifth, and perhaps most subtle behavior, is how they respond to your boundaries. Words can promise respect, but true character is revealed in response to limits. When you assert your needs, express your discomfort, or say no, how does the other person react? Do they honor your boundaries, respond patiently, and communicate respectfully, or do they pressure, manipulate, or guilt you into compliance? Hidden behaviors in these moments are far more telling than any verbal reassurance. Promises of understanding are meaningless if behavior contradicts them. Observing this teaches you who truly honors you and who uses words as a tool to influence or control. Understanding these hidden behaviors requires a shift in perspective. It demands patience, attention, and the courage to look beyond charm, persuasion, or flattering words. It teaches you that trust is not a gift to be given freely. It is a careful, deliberate decision based on observation and evidence. Silence becomes a tool in this process, allowing you to watch, reflect, and discern without being drawn into reactive engagement. By prioritizing action over rhetoric, reality over narrative, you align yourself with truth rather than illusion. Psychologically, humans are wired to respond to words emotionally. Compliments, promises, and eloquence activate desire and trust centers in the brain, sometimes bypassing rational evaluation. This is why hidden behaviors are essential. They anchor judgment in observable truth rather than emotional reaction. Words are often crafted to trigger hope, loyalty, or fear, while behaviors reveal whether those triggers correspond with genuine intention. Observing, noting patterns, and remaining patient protect you from falling prey to manipulation. Consider life's lessons. How often have you believed someone's words only to be disappointed later? How often have promises melted under pressure, revealing inconsistency, selfishness, or dishonesty? These experiences are not mere misfortune. They are teachers. They show that reliance on speech alone is insufficient. Hidden behaviors are the proof that verifies or contradicts the narrative presented by words. Mastering the ability to read these behaviors is mastering the art of discernment, protection, and personal sovereignty. Moreover, hidden behaviors have a subtle way of showing alignment with character and integrity. People who are authentic exhibit congruence. What they say aligns with what they do, their tone aligns with their intention, and their interactions are consistent regardless of audience or circumstance. This congruence cannot be faked indefinitely. It emerges naturally in the repetition of small, seemingly inconsequential actions. By paying attention to these behaviors, you see the truth that words alone cannot convey. Ultimately, the lesson is profound. Do not trust words blindly. Watch, observe, and interpret the hidden behaviors behind the speech. Evaluate consistency, reactions under pressure, alignment of body and tone, repeated patterns, and response to boundaries. These behaviors reveal true intentions, motives, and integrity. Words may charm, persuade, and deceive, but hidden behaviors are the indicators that distinguish reality from illusion. By mastering this observation, you protect your energy, avoid deception, and cultivate discernment. You learn to invest trust only in those whose actions demonstrate authenticity, not merely in those who speak persuasively. Silence, attention, and patience become your tools for navigating relationships, partnerships, and life itself. You begin to recognize manipulation before it takes root and align yourself with truth, reliability, and integrity. Karma will naturally address deception, but your responsibility lies in seeing clearly and acting wisely. In conclusion, words can mislead, but hidden behaviors reveal the truth. Actions are the true reflection of character, consistency, the true measure of intention, and subtle patterns, the most reliable guide for trust. By focusing on what people do rather than what they say, you protect your heart, your mind, and your life. Discernment is not cynicism, it is clarity. Observation is not suspicion, it is wisdom. When you learn to watch for these hidden behaviors, you rise above illusions, avoid manipulation, and move through life grounded in reality, integrity, and truth. We live in a world where words are abundant, where promises are easily given, and where persuasive speech can mask truth. People have mastered the art of saying exactly what you want to hear, using language to influence emotions, create bonds, or conceal intentions. Yet, beneath the surface of every word lies a subtle language of behavior, a language that rarely lies, a language that reveals the true nature of those around you. To navigate life wisely, to protect yourself from manipulation, and to cultivate discernment, you must learn to read this hidden language. Words can be beautiful, compelling, and seemingly sincere, but hidden behaviors are far more revealing than speech ever could be. The first hidden behavior to observe is the alignment of speech with follow-through. A person may make promises that sound flawless, assuring support, loyalty, or commitment, but if these promises are not reflected in action, their sincerity is compromised. Words can be rehearsed, actions require effort. A commitment that is not acted upon exposes intention or lack thereof. True trust is earned not by eloquence, but by consistent demonstration of reliability. Silence and observation allow you to notice whether someone's words hold weight or dissolve when challenged by reality. Those who rely solely on words often reveal themselves over time, and hidden behaviors act as the compass guiding you toward truth. The second behavior is response to accountability. Words often appeal to emotion, but when someone is held accountable, their true motives are revealed. A person who is manipulative or dishonest may respond defensively, deflect blame, or attempt to rewrite the narrative. Those who are sincere, in contrast, accept responsibility, acknowledge mistakes, and act to correct them. Hidden behaviors in moments of accountability are far more telling than any eloquent explanation or apology. Observe reactions to pressure, feedback, or consequences, and you will see whether words reflect integrity or merely attempt to conceal reality. Third is the subtle manipulation of attention and emotion. Words can be crafted to evoke desire, fear, or guilt. Compliments may flatter, stories may charm, and explanations may persuade, but behaviors reveal whether these words are honest or tools of manipulation. Observe who they prioritize, whose needs they truly respect, and how they handle influence when it does not benefit them. Hidden behaviors manifest in the small, often overlooked interactions. A glance, a gesture, or a choice of timing. These cues are far more accurate indicators of character than polished speech, teaching you to distinguish authenticity from calculated persuasion. A fourth hidden behavior is consistency under varied circumstances. Words can be adaptable, shaped to appeal to different audiences or situations. A person may sound noble in public while acting differently in private. Hidden behaviors, however, reveal whether integrity is present across contexts. Do they act with the same respect, honesty, and reliability when no one is watching? Patterns of behavior over time demonstrate whether words are aligned with character or are merely a temporary performance. Observing how someone responds when comfort, advantage, or recognition is absent exposes their true values and intentions. The fifth behavior is response to boundaries and personal limits. Words can promise respect, patience, and consideration, but actions reveal genuine regard for your autonomy. When you assert boundaries, how does the other person respond? A sincere individual respects limits, communicates thoughtfully, and adapts without pressure. Someone who is manipulative may push, guilt, or argue to bypass these boundaries. Hidden behaviors in these moments tell more than words ever could. They reveal whether someone values you or seeks to control, whether their words are a reflection of intention or a mask for self-interest. Understanding these hidden behaviors is a practice in patience, awareness, and mindfulness. It requires observing without immediate reaction, noticing subtle cues, and reflecting on patterns over time. Trust is not given automatically. It is earned through repeated demonstrations of authenticity. Words alone cannot earn trust. They are fleeting, easily influenced by emotion, desire, or strategy. Behaviors are the evidence, the tangible manifestations of intention, and the most reliable guide for judgment. Silence and careful observation are not weakness. They are strategies for discernment and self-protection. Psychologically, humans are wired to respond to words emotionally. A kind phrase, a persuasive argument, or a flattering compliment can activate hope, desire, or empathy, often bypassing rational assessment. Hidden behaviors, however, are harder to manipulate consistently. They reveal truth through repetition, context, and subtlety. Observing these behaviors allows you to assess character, intentions, and reliability without being misled by rhetoric. When you rely on behavior over speech, you maintain clarity, protect your energy, and avoid being drawn into illusions created by skillful language. Consider this: many people who appear trustworthy at first can slowly reveal inconsistency, selfishness, or manipulation through repeated behaviors. Hidden behaviors serve as early indicators, guiding you before harm occurs. They show patterns of integrity or deceit long before words lose credibility. By training yourself to see these signs, you cultivate wisdom, patience, and resilience. You learn to invest trust only in those whose actions reflect their speech. This discernment protects relationships, preserves energy, and ensures that engagement is based on reality rather than illusion. Furthermore, these behaviors are subtle yet revealing. Micro-expressions, body language, tone, gestures, and timing all communicate volumes that words cannot. Someone may sound confident, sincere, and convincing, but the eyes, hands, posture, and reactions often contradict the speech. Observing these cues trains the mind to detect hidden motives and uncover truth. This skill is invaluable in personal life, professional interactions, and social dynamics. It ensures that decisions are informed, boundaries are maintained, and relationships are nurtured with clarity rather than blind trust. In life, words alone are unreliable. Promises, explanations, and flattering speech can be tools for influence, persuasion, or deception. Hidden behaviors, however, provide evidence and context. They reveal alignment between speech and intention, between external presentation and internal truth. By focusing on what people do, not just what they say, you safeguard your heart, your mind, and your energy. This observation is not cynicism, it is clarity. It is the ability to discern, protect, and respond with wisdom. Ultimately, mastery comes from observing, interpreting, and trusting hidden behaviors over words. Words may charm, persuade, and mislead, but consistent actions, reactions under accountability, subtle cues, patterns over time, and respect for boundaries reveal the true nature of people. Life rewards those who see beyond rhetoric and invest trust only in authenticity. Silence and patient observation provide the clarity to understand, the wisdom to act strategically, and the protection to maintain inner peace. Karma may balance deceit, but your responsibility is to see clearly, judge wisely, and respond consciously. In conclusion, never trust words blindly. Watch hidden behaviors. They are the truth behind the speech. Evaluate consistency, reactions under pressure, alignment of tone and action, long-term patterns, and respect for boundaries. These behaviors expose manipulation, reveal character, and protect your energy. Words may seduce, inspire, or comfort, but hidden behaviors are unyielding evidence of reality. Mastering this awareness cultivates discernment, wisdom, and integrity. In a world where words can deceive, behaviors are the compass guiding you toward truth, security, and meaningful connection. In life, we often place far too much trust in words. We are taught to listen, to respond, and to form judgments based on what is spoken. Yet, words can be shaped, polished, and designed to manipulate perception. They can appeal to desire, fear, ego, or hope. A person may say exactly what you want to hear, make promises that resonate deeply, and explain actions in ways that seem reasonable, but the reality behind those words is rarely immediately apparent. True intentions are embedded in hidden behaviors, the subtle, often unnoticed actions and patterns that speak louder than any eloquence. Understanding these behaviors is crucial for navigating relationships, protecting your energy, and living with clarity. The first hidden behavior to observe is consistency between spoken intent and actual effort. Someone may declare loyalty, commitment, or support, but their follow-through tells the real story. Words require no effort, no accountability, and no sacrifice. Actions, on the other hand, demand energy, attention, and integrity. A person may verbally promise to help, to be present, or to honor commitments, but if they consistently fail to act in alignment with those words, their intentions are revealed as hollow. Observing this alignment, or lack thereof, over time allows you to distinguish between genuine character and mere speech. Silence and observation are your allies in this process, letting actions speak before words cloud judgment. The second hidden behavior is reaction to challenges, setbacks, or mistakes. Words can provide soothing explanations, excuses, or reassurance, but it is behavior under stress that reveals true motives. When confronted with difficulty, does a person honor their commitments, accept responsibility, and act with integrity, or do they deflect blame, avoid accountability, or manipulate circumstances to protect self-interest? Reactions under pressure expose authenticity far more effectively than any calm, persuasive speech. Observing these responses allows you to separate those who act from those who merely speak. Words can promise loyalty or honesty, but only behavior under adversity confirms it. Third, consider how someone treats others in situations where there is no personal benefit. Words may claim fairness, kindness, and empathy, but behaviors toward people who cannot reward, flatter, or serve the individual reveal deeper truths. Watch interactions with subordinates, strangers, or service personnel. Do they speak and act respectfully, consistently, and ethically? Or is their kindness selective, reserved only for those who provide advantage? Hidden behaviors in these interactions reflect character far more accurately than polished speech. Words may attempt to create an image, but patterns of behavior reveal who the person truly is. The fourth hidden behavior is body language and micro-cues. Speech can be rehearsed and deceptive, but subtle gestures, postures, facial expressions, and tone carry honest signals. Someone may verbally affirm their intentions, but if their eyes avoid contact, their tone fluctuates, or their posture suggests defensiveness or deceit, the words are likely misleading. Observing these micro-behaviors develops discernment, allowing you to detect sincerity or manipulation beneath eloquence. The body rarely lies consistently, making nonverbal cues an invaluable tool in understanding hidden intentions. The fifth hidden behavior to observe is responses to boundaries and limits. Words may promise respect, patience, and understanding, but behavior in response to asserted boundaries shows genuine intention. A person of integrity accepts limits, communicates thoughtfully, and adapts without coercion. In contrast, someone manipulative may push, guilt, or argue to override boundaries. These hidden behaviors are critical indicators of trustworthiness. They reveal whether words are aligned with values or merely masks for self-interest. Silence and attentive observation allow you to see this clearly, providing a safeguard against being misled by persuasive language. Understanding these hidden behaviors requires patience and mindfulness. Trusting words without evidence is risky. They can be empty, transient, and easily manipulated. Hidden behaviors, however, are consistent, revealing, and often unavoidable. By learning to focus on action rather than speech, on patterns rather than promises, you cultivate discernment, protect your energy, and make informed decisions. Silence is not passivity, it is a conscious tool for observation, reflection, and understanding. Psychologically, humans are susceptible to the allure of words. Compliments, assurances, and persuasive narratives can trigger emotional responses that bypass rational assessment. This makes hidden behaviors even more crucial, as they provide a counterbalance to emotional influence. Observing how someone consistently behaves, how they act under stress, uphold commitments, and treat those who cannot offer them advantage, provides reliable insight into true intention. Words may be crafted for immediate impact, but hidden behaviors demonstrate sustained reality. Life's lessons reinforce this principle repeatedly. People often experience disappointment when promises fail, explanations collapse under scrutiny, or charm wears thin. These experiences teach the value of watching rather than only listening. Hidden behaviors are the evidence that separates reality from illusion. They provide clarity and prevent emotional misjudgment. Mastering the observation of these behaviors cultivates wisdom, resilience, and self-protection, enabling you to engage in relationships and situations with clarity rather than blind trust. Furthermore, observing hidden behaviors helps you understand motives and align your trust accordingly. People who act consistently, honor commitments under stress, and treat others respectfully demonstrate authentic intentions. Those who manipulate, deflect, or show inconsistency reveal their unreliability. By prioritizing observation over words, you make decisions rooted in reality, safeguarding your energy, relationships, and well-being. Karma may eventually reveal consequences for deception, but your responsibility is to discern truth through behavior and act accordingly. In conclusion, words are insufficient to measure intention. Hidden behaviors provide the truest reflection of character and motives. Evaluate consistency between words and actions, reactions under pressure, treatment of others without personal gain, body language and micro cues, and responses to boundaries. These behaviors speak volumes, revealing authenticity, reliability, and integrity. Words may charm, persuade, or mislead, but actions, patterns, and subtle cues are the evidence that cannot be faked indefinitely. By mastering observation, silence, and awareness, you cultivate discernment, preserve energy, and align yourself with reality. You learn to trust only where evidence supports it, to protect yourself from manipulation, and to respond strategically rather than react emotionally. Life rewards those who see beyond speech, understand hidden behaviors, and make choices grounded in truth. Words may seduce the mind, but hidden behaviors guide the heart, illuminate intentions, and reveal the reality that defines genuine connection. Life teaches us, over and over, that words can be deceiving. We live in a world where promises are made effortlessly, explanations are given persuasively, and speech is used to charm, convince, or manipulate. Many have fallen into the trap of trusting words without looking deeper, of accepting flattering narratives without observing what truly lies beneath. But there is a subtle, invisible language that exists beyond words, a language of hidden behaviors, of actions, reactions, and patterns that speaks the truth no speech can ever fully convey. Understanding and observing these hidden behaviors is one of the greatest tools you can develop for protecting your heart, mind, and energy. The first key point is that hidden behaviors reveal character more accurately than speech. A person may say the right things, promise loyalty, or express sympathy, but if their actions do not reflect these words, their sincerity is questionable. True character emerges in everyday actions, how someone treats others, how they follow through on commitments, and how they respond to challenges. Words are fleeting, easy to manipulate, and often tailored to circumstances or audiences. Hidden behaviors, however, are difficult to fake consistently. They emerge naturally, revealing the inner values and intentions of a person. Observing these behaviors allows you to discern truth from illusion, protecting you from deception and emotional harm. The second important point is patterns over time. One encounter is never enough to understand the depth of someone's intentions. People may appear sincere, kind, or trustworthy in a single interaction, but repeated observation reveals whether these qualities are genuine or performative. Hidden behaviors, observed over time, create a reliable map of character. How someone behaves under stress, how they honor their commitments, how they respond to those with no power or advantage. All of these repeated actions reveal the authenticity behind words. By focusing on these patterns, you move beyond surface-level trust and develop insight into the real intentions of those around you. Third is behavior under pressure or unexpected circumstances. Words can be prepared, polished, and rehearsed, but stress and unpredictability reveal truth. When plans fail, when mistakes happen, or when accountability is demanded, behaviors reveal whether someone's words carry substance or are merely empty gestures. Do they act responsibly, honestly, and with integrity, or do they manipulate, deflect, or justify deceit? Observing reactions in these moments provides clarity far beyond any verbal explanation. Hidden behaviors under pressure are like a lens, showing the core of intention and reliability. The fourth critical factor is nonverbal cues and microexpressions. Words may persuade, flatter, or mislead, but the body rarely lies consistently. Eye contact, tone, posture, and gestures communicate subtle truths that often contradict what is spoken. A person may assure you of trust or respect, but fleeting expressions, shifts in tone, or defensive postures can reveal doubt, insincerity, or concealment. Learning to read these signals gives you the ability to see beyond surface-level speech. It allows you to detect hidden intentions, protect your energy, and make informed decisions in relationships, business, or social interactions. Fifth is response to boundaries. Words may promise respect, patience, or understanding, but hidden behaviors in moments of boundary assertion are revealing. When you assert your needs, say no, or protect your time and energy, observe how the other person reacts. A person of integrity respects these limits, communicates thoughtfully, and adjusts without pressure. In contrast, someone who seeks control or manipulation may push, guilt, or argue to override your boundaries. Observing these hidden behaviors is critical in discerning trustworthiness and aligning yourself with people whose words are reflected in action. Understanding these hidden behaviors also helps you develop inner strength and discernment. Silence becomes a tool, not passivity. By observing rather than reacting impulsively, you gain clarity, protect your energy, and make decisions based on evidence rather than emotion. Trust is no longer given blindly, it is earned through observation, consistency, and integrity. You learn to recognize patterns, detect manipulation early, and avoid investing emotional energy in those who lack authenticity. This discernment is empowering. It transforms how you engage with the world and strengthens your ability to navigate relationships with wisdom. Psychologically, humans are prone to respond to words emotionally. Compliments, assurances, and eloquence can trigger hope, desire, or loyalty, bypassing rational judgment. Hidden behaviors act as a counterbalance, providing evidence that cannot be fabricated consistently. Observing these behaviors trains you to evaluate character, intentions, and trustworthiness beyond the superficial impact of speech. It ensures your decisions are grounded in reality rather than illusion, protecting both your peace and your integrity. Moreover, hidden behaviors are a form of universal truth. They transcend culture, language, and circumstance. Actions, consistency, and responses to challenge reveal authenticity everywhere, whether in personal relationships, professional environments, or social dynamics. Words may be shaped by context or self-interest, but behaviors are the manifestation of inner values, intentions, and character. By prioritizing observation over mere speech, you align yourself with truth, clarity, and reality. Finally, understanding hidden behaviors equips you to respond strategically rather than react impulsively. When someone's words are inconsistent with their actions, you are not forced to act immediately or emotionally. You can observe, reflect, and respond from a position of strength. Silence becomes your ally, patience becomes your shield, and awareness becomes your compass. You engage with people and situations wisely, investing trust where it is earned and protecting yourself from manipulation. Karma may eventually reveal consequences for dishonesty, but your responsibility is to act consciously and wisely in the present. In conclusion, do not trust words blindly, watch hidden behaviors. They reveal intentions, character, and authenticity in ways words cannot. Observe consistency, reactions under pressure, treatment of others, nonverbal cues, and responses to boundaries. These subtle behaviors are the evidence that allows you to discern truth from illusion. Words may charm, persuade, or mislead, but actions, patterns, and subtle cues are the true markers of reality. By mastering observation and cultivating patience, you protect your energy, maintain integrity, and navigate life with wisdom. Hidden behaviors guide you toward authentic connections, reliable relationships, and a deeper understanding of human character. Silence, observation, and discernment are the tools that allow you to see beyond the narrative, recognize truth, and respond with clarity, strength, and inner peace.